Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 5th Karnataka Butterfly and Bee Festival in 2021. And welcome to the Expert Talks. Thank you all for being here to join us in this wonderful world of beautiful butterflies. Today's talk is the first of the 4 expert talks being organized as part of the festival. And before we start the session, I would request you all to please keep yourself muted, keep your videos off to help better streaming, and put any questions that you have in the chat box so that they can be answered at the end of the session. Today's talk is My Encounters with the Jewels of Nature by Ashok Sengupta. And it's my privilege to introduce to you today's speaker, Ashok Sengupta. He is one of the founding members of the Bangalore Butterfly Club, and he's a postgraduate teacher in computer science in Kendra Vidyalaya Sangathan, presently in Bangalore. After a BTech in electronics and telecom engineering in MCA, he was in the domain of IT too. He is a nature lover with a special interest in butterflies, ordinates, reptiles, and birds. He has been documenting butterflies and especially their life cycles in the Western Ghats and Central India for the past 7 years. He has started a small butterfly club in his school through which many students have developed their interest in studying nature, right in their school itself. He has been a mentor to many, patiently guiding them to learn about the wonderful world of butterflies. And many of us have benefited through his guidance. So over to you, Ashok sir.
Good evening, Priya. Good evening, one and all, including my mentor, Dr. Krishnamay Kunte, who is invisibly present here and trying to listen to what I am trying to speak today. So let me share my screen and okay, please allow sharing of screen to me. Please allow, Keshav.
Yeah, one second.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can try it now.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Please mute your mics. Okay.
I request all of you to please keep yourself muted so that we can hear the speaker well throughout the session. Thank you.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to this storytelling session by me. Here, I'll not be speaking anything about butterfly taxonomy, butterfly ecology, butterfly migration, how many wings, how many legs, how many antennas, how many proboscis a butterfly has. I'll be speaking about something totally different, and I'll try to make sure that you enjoy whatever I say. So this is basically my journey and how it all became. A middle-aged man who came to Bangalore in the year 2007 was staying alone in a rented house and working in this green campus called Kendriya Vidyalaya number 1 Jalali. We have a 17-acre lush green campus with over 1,000 trees and a beautiful garden in front of the school, covered by lots of open space. And suddenly, all of a sudden, I started observing butterflies in my garden. You can see the front elevation of my school, and there's a garden in front of the school, and in just behind this Kendriya Vidyalaya number 1 board, there was a room. There's a room which used to be my computer lab. Now it's not a computer lab anymore. I used to sit there and in my free periods used to see the garden, and many butterflies used to come there on the Ixora tree and Ixora flowers, and the nectar there that included blue mormons and great orange tips. They used to come there. I was to observe them. I never knew those names in those days. Suddenly I saw one day a butterfly sitting on the wall. That was a dark velvet blue butterfly with white spots on all the 4 wings. Okay, so I was amazed to see that butterfly, big butterfly, almost about 3 inches to 3.5 inches width length, this big butterfly. So I wanted to photograph that. We did not have those days smartphones to take photographs instantly. I was searching for a camera, and to my surprise, I saw a camera in my almirah, the almirah which I was using for keeping my computer stock. It was a Samsung 4 megapixel camera. It was gifted to me, our school, by ex-students, alumni, and I never had a battery. I did not know how to operate that camera, digital camera. I went out, purchased a pair of cells, those pencil cells. I also did not know that pencil cells don't work on a camera. We require rechargeable batteries. So I bought those 4 cells and plugged in those cells and took a photograph of that particular butterfly. And I could take only one shot with that camera, and those batteries became dead. Okay. Then I realized that, okay, it is not the way to take photographs. And that photograph, I wanted to know what is that butterfly. I had no idea. So I searched. I was in Yahoo Mail those days. I was not using Gmail to that extent. I had a Gmail ID. And then I searched in Yahoo Mail and found out that there was a group called Butterfly India. Now those groups are not available anymore. Yahoo's have shut down the groups. But that group I requested to join, and they allowed me to join. And I posted the butterfly and got the ID maybe after one day, because Yahoo group mails were monitored and answered. It takes time. No, there is no instantaneous response as we have these days with Facebook and Instagrams and other social media networking sites. So I got the first ID as Great Ekfly Mail. I was so happy. I wanted to seriously document butterflies. Okay, I purchased a camera, another point and shoot camera. I purchased, and I purchased the legitimate battery packs. I started photographing butterflies and started posting in that Butterfly India Yahoo group. And I was getting small responses. And slowly my journey began in the year 2007. Okay. And then one day I saw that there was something special happening internationally. There was a website designing competition which was held by Oracle ThinkQuest. There was a site. That site does not exist anymore. It is the Oracle company's initiative. They conducted one competition that is called website, that is called project development, project-based learning and website. Through that, I decided to rope in a few students from my schools and some collaborative students from other parts of the country. And we started designing the site. That site I cannot show you because it does not exist in the archives anymore. And we did a work about 3 months and hosted the site. While doing that site, I came in contact with 3 icons in the Butterfly India. To name them, first and foremost was my mentor, Dr. Krishnamay Kunte, who is there today. And another one was Mr. Balakrishna Velappil from Kerala. And third was the butterfly man of our country, Isaac Khemkar. He wrote a book called Butterflies of India, which was the first pictorial guide for Indian butterflies in with colored images. And it was, to be frank, the Bible for us those days. Now we have got better books available. I purchased those books after request, after contacting these 3 icons. They gave me interviews, those mail interviews. I asked some certain questions to all 3. I got my answers. They have, Balakrishna Velappil even shared his southern birdwing images to me for the website. With due credits, I used those images and we hosted the website. And to our surprise, in 2009, that website was awarded an honorable mention by ThinkQuest International. And out of the 6 prizes that were to be given by Oracle, we were one of the prize owners. We won the prize, and we were gifted a laptop each, MacBooks, and certificates, felicitations in Delhi, and international felicitations. A lot of things happened. Everybody was happy. But after that, I started my journey seriously. I purchased books written by Dr. Krishnamay Kunte, written by Isaac Khemkar and Meena Haribal. I purchased those books and started reading them seriously. And I made many friends. And in my journey towards learning butterflies, many youngsters, they helped me. Vivek Sarkar, Monsoon Gogoi, Kishan Das, Hemant Ogle, Rohan Lavalekar. There were many friends who helped me to learn through the Yahoo group. And in, I think, 2008 or 10, I think, Dr. Krishnamay Kunte was those days in US. He was pursuing his postdoc. He came to India and he conducted one small meeting in IISc, Indian Institute of Science. And he had come out with that project of idea of having a citizen science initiative called Indian Foundation of Butterflies. I was happy to be invited there, and I went there first time. I met in person Dr. Kunte, and that site was that idea was mooted, and slowly Dr. Krishnamay Kunte and team started working on it. It's a huge site. I'll show you the site later on. Now that happened, and in 2000, I think 11 or 12, I was me and Dr. Vijay Varbe. He is one of icons of Indian citizen scientist initiatives. He is pioneered. He pioneered in using the social media platforms like Facebook, blogs and Yahoo groups and whatever available social media platform to promote Indian butterflies. So he came out with the idea of a Facebook group called Butterflies of India, and we created that group. And now we have got about 39,000 members in that group. I can show you if you want. That Facebook group is still existing with 39.6 thousand members, and every day we get hundreds of posts and related images and requests for IDs, and our learning it became more it speeded up with instantaneous responses from experts. And one more person I am forgetting to mention. He was also responsible for my journey, especially towards learning of skippers. And he is Dr. Kalesh Sadasevan. He is still my friend, and we collaborate in a lot of research work, and he helps me still as on date. I will be thanking him at the end. And that's how I started. This is the journey which I started in 2007. And I have documented from my campus more than 115 butterflies. I have actually motivated a few students like Girish, Atul Nayan, Adarsha, Harshini, Naresh, a lot of students, who got hooked into butterflies, and they started observing butterflies seriously. In my school, we had a small club. We now have a butterfly garden too in our school. And I started documenting many butterflies from many records from school. And not only that, because of my friends, Dr. Balakrishna Velapil, who was doing early stages, Dr. Saji was doing early stages from Kerala, I also started observing early stages. And from my campus, I have done almost 70 life cycles. Some are very common, but some are, I think, new to science, maybe first ever documenting the early stages. And a few are projected here. There is a life cycle of Anomalous Nobob, and there is a life cycle of double-branded crow, and there is a life cycle of dingy line blues. I have photographed many butterflies from these. Are all campus butterflies. The photographs which I am sharing here are all my campus butterflies. You can see that there is a white-tip line blue. This was the second record from Bangalore. This first image of white-tip line blue, which is a scheduled species, protected species, and I documented from the school campus. I documented the early stage of this Plains Blue Royal. I think it was one of the very first early stage documentation from India, and it was successfully done from the school campus. Then we kept on documenting butterflies. Many butterflies came, and we recorded some very, very interesting and uncommon species of Bangalore from this particular area of my school. And the journey continued. Okay. Then now I'm going to narrate. This is all about my school and my how I started learning. Then I was invited to join some surveys around the country, especially in Kerala, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. And I will be documenting some of those journeys in this particular webinar, this presentation, and I'll be showing how I saw these butterflies. You can see these butterflies all are from campus. This is a white-tip lion blue. This is a gaudy baron. This is a black raja. This is an anomalous nabab, a blue mormon, a peacock royal, the red spot, the plains blue royal, the cornelian, the indigo flash, the dingy lion blue, the black spotted or rather orange crown grass jewel. This is the latest entry to our campus. This is called the Pterucus balcanicus, or we can say Balkan Pero, we can say it. And we have got this one of the first records from Bangalore of the Karwar swift, and this is another butterfly called the what is that? It's a cupid, small cupid. Okay, these are some of the butterflies on the campus, but the list is large. I cannot show you everything here in this slide, but I'll come to the next journey which I went. This is the journey which I wanted to say. We have a lake about 16 kilometers from my place in Bangalore, and that is called the Hesarghatta Lake. That lake bed is known for many butterflies, mostly common, but one species which turned out to be the winner was rediscovered after 100 years by Nitin Ravikant, and he documented the butterfly, first photographic record from India, and his contribution was continued by both of us, and we went on researching about this butterfly for over about 6 to 7 years, and ultimately cracked the early stages of this butterfly. This is called the lilac silverline, and it is very, very rare butterfly, and it is found only in 1, 2, or 3 pockets. Recent documentation from 1, 2, 3 pockets. It was photographed from Hesarghatta in Bangalore, and Nellore in Andhra Pradesh by Bhanumati, and one record from Rajasthan, and 1 or 2 records from Northeast Arunachal Pradesh by Monsoon Jyoti Gogoi. This is a very, very rare butterfly. It was discovered in, I think, 2012 by Nitin Ravikant, rediscovered, and we have worked on it for maybe 6 to 7 years. Till 2018, I was working on this butterfly, and we have ultimately documented its early stages. Many of my friends went with me to Hesarghatta and photographed butterflies. In fact, I was instrumental in escorting a large number of friends from outside Bangalore who came to Bangalore only to photograph the lilac silverline. Many enthusiasts from Bombay, Kerala, and other places, they came to Bangalore to just see this butterfly. And I was happy and fortunate enough to take them and escort them to Hesarghatta to photograph this butterfly. This is one of my very, very important milestones which we have achieved in my life while learning about butterflies. Now, I'll take you back to 2011. First encounter of Western Ghat butterfly by me was basically at a place called Tomanguttu. It is in the Idukki district, very near to a place called Thodupuda. Thodupuja, if I say, I know I'm unable to Thodupuda. It's very near to I think Ernakulam, and in the Idukki district. There's a multi-stage waterfall. It's a very famous picnic spot. I went there with my friend Mr. Nair, who helped me to go there twice. Once I went alone, and once I went with Sushant of Kerala. He's a senior butterfly guy. We photographed a lot of very interesting species, and I, for the first time, documented these interesting species. And to be frank, this is called the white. What is that? What is that? Ace, white banded ace. or this
White
butterfly-
branded is.
White branded is. This butterfly I photographed there for the first time, and the only once I photographed it. Till now, I have not seen it second time. This was my first encounter with the white banded is, and this is my first encounter of the that is a large 4-line blue and a floppy tit, a red spot, and the angled sunbeam or the tooth sunbeam. These are some of my butterflies. On one day I photographed about 50 species of butterfly, and these are all new to me. I had no idea about their names, what I'm photographing. Later on, I could make out from the references and help from my friends what are these butterflies actually. And I was so happy the first time to see this. And this place is still a wonderful place in Kerala for watching butterflies. Okay. And you can go and see it. I don't know when Kerala will open, but if you go to Kerala for butterflies, you must visit this place. Beautiful place for butterflies. And next came in 2012. This is an invitation by Dr. Kalesh Sadasivan and Travancore Natural History Society to attend a butterfly survey at a place called Pepara Wildlife Sanctuary. It is very near to Trivandrum, and on the way to Ponmudi is a place called Bithura, and from there we go right, climb up to a Bonacard tea estate, and one side it goes to Nayar and one side it goes to Pepara up to Agasti Malais. So I went there with my friend Rohit and Nitin, and you can see how difficult that particular trip was. We stayed in a cave, and there were elephants around at night, and we were shivering in the month of December. We had to resort to put a fire to make us warm, but the spirit was not down. We photographed there some remarkable species, and for me, the first photograph of orchid tit. This is the butterfly orchid tit you can see, and we have photographed the Nilgiri tiger, which is an high altitude butterfly in Western Ghats. I got that pale 4-line blue for the first time. The staff sergeant, it's a male of the staff sergeant from there, and a very remarkable butterfly called the small palm bob. Small palm bob, and there's a called Indian common palm bob, and there's a small palm bob. They belong, they're very similar in common names, but the families, same family, the Hesperidae. And this small palm bob is a very uncommon species in Western Ghats. This was my first photographic record from Pepara, the small palm bob. See how I am basically, putting my basket filled with Western Ghats butterflies. There are 336 species of butterflies from Western Ghats, and I have not seen yet about 36 species. Maybe 36, maybe less than that. I have not seen those butterflies. They're very rare. I'll talk about those if you have time. Okay, this is my next journey to Pepara WLS. Then came a very interesting trip to a place in 2013, and my friend was a teacher. She was a teacher. Now she's a mother, and she used to stay in a place near Sirsi in Uttara Kannada called Siddhapur. And she was posting photographs of very, very elusive butterflies from that area. And she, along with my friend, I think I was invited by Netra Bhatt to come to that place. And I went with Prashant, my friend, and Sammilan to observe butterflies at Siddhapur. It is about a 7 to 8 hours journey from Bangalore. We went there, and you can see what I saw. I photographed my first record of common onyx. It's a very, very uncommon butterfly in Western Ghats. And I saw out of the 5 oak blues found in Western Ghats, 4 of them. I have shown here 3 of the oak blues. This is called the dusted oak blue or the Tamil oak blue. And this is the rosy oak blue, and this is the aberrant oak blue. 3 oak blues I have put here. There are 2 other oak blues which you saw there, the large oak blue and the center oak blue. I am not shown the photographs here, but I saw out of the 5 oak blues found in Western Ghats, 6 oak blues found in Western Ghats, 5 of them. Okay, and also I saw the banded royal, and first time I saw the yellow jack sailor. It actually was laying eggs there. We documented the life cycle by seeing the eggs and collecting the eggs from that area. This is the yellow jack sailor from Siddhapur, which was my first encounter with this species, and also saw another very interesting butterfly in the blues family called the tinsel. You can see the tinsel is basically laying eggs. Can you see the eggs here? Tiny dots on the branch. On Hopia punga, this particular butterfly was laying eggs, and we were fortunate to observe the egg laying of this species tinsel. It was also my first encounter. Okay, and those days there's another rare butterfly which was found here called the brown onyx. That was also observed. I saw that butterfly in fact there, but we could not photograph it because it was sitting very high in the canopy. So that's how this particular trip is very, very memorable to me, because we saw many, many rare and elusive butterflies and there are, Netra has documented some other very rare butterflies. The first record of a butterfly called I think Silver Royal from Karnataka, photography record, and she also photographed the broad-tail royal, and she has also documented more than 180 species of butterflies from her village only. She is still continuing with her journey in documenting butterflies. This is my Siddhapur trip. Then came one of my dream expeditions to Periyar Tiger Reserve. That was a butterfly survey conducted by TNHS and Kerala Forest Department, and that the memory of this butterfly survey is etched into my heart, because this survey I was not alone. I was with my wife, and she was the first time and the last time, to be frank, she came and attended this butterfly survey at Periyar. We observed many butterflies there. There were a huge team of participants, friends from Bombay, from Karnataka, and from Kerala were there, and we have documented many butterflies there though that time. And I want to show you certain things which I saw for the first time. The first butterfly at the down, you can see this called the baby five-ring. This is the first time I documented. I first time documented the white bar bush brown. This was my first record, and the first time I documented this butterfly, which is called the southern spotted ace. These are some wonderful species which are mainly found in Western Ghats, were documented by me. And two more caterpillars I want to show you. This is the caterpillar of a butterfly, which is one of the prettiest butterflies, and it's called the All King. I found this butterfly caterpillar there at Periyar, and I have not seen that by that time the adult butterfly. Yet I have not photographed it properly till date. After 12 years of butterflying Western Ghats, I saw the caterpillar of this butterfly called the All King. And the first actually encounter with the butterfly caterpillar of the blue admiral. You can see the blue admiral here. This is the caterpillar of blue admiral. We have documented. I have documented this two wonderful butterfly early stages from Periyar Tiger Reserve. So I have visited Periyar not once but twice. Once we were posted to a place called Vallakadubu, and the second time I was posted to a place called Mangala Devi. Those two areas are wonderful. If you don't go there, you will not believe how beautiful those places are. Next, my trip, it was September 2015, and we were called by Kalesh and his team to a butterfly survey in Munnar. Munnar is one of the highest placed altitude area in Kerala, and we wait in the September post monsoon, and I have basically gone thrice to Munnar, and there I observed very, very interesting things. We observed all the high altitude butterflies. First of all, this is called the Nilgiri clouded yellow. Okay, this is the red admiral. I'll tell some stories about this. Just wait. This is called the cabbage white. This is called the dingy scrub hooper. This is called the what is this called? This is your bush. What is that called? See, while
Red disc bush brown.
Red disc bush brown. Okay, sorry. I'm getting confused with names. This is the white disc hedge blue, the white hedge blue, the Palani bush brown, and the Palani fritillary. These are the high altitude species which are found in Munnar. Okay. Apart from that, there are Evershade Ace, which I failed to document there, which is there. And I wanted to tell a story. I and Mr. Beju, one TNHS member, we were searching for the early stages of this butterfly called the Nilgiri clouded yellow. And to our surprise, we found, and we searched all the grasslands. We saw many butterflies, but we could not find the caterpillar. But when we came back to our camp at Pampadam Shola, we found the caterpillars of this particular butterfly in a swampy area, about 20 feet down in a particular ditch, and there were many caterpillars feeding on the one of the oxalis species which is found in those area, blue oxalis. And I got the life cycle and we documented the life cycle. And with a bonus, we are finding this life cycle. We got it, and along with that, we got the life cycle of the Palani fritillary also. This was one of the first documentation of the two butterflies, the early stage documentation of the Nilgiri clouded yellow and the Palani fritillary. And also, I documented another life cycle on the nettle. Nettles are very, very stingy kind of plants, itchy to our skin. And one butterfly called the red admiral, it breeds on nettle. And I did not collect any caterpillar or larva there. In a span of 1 kilometer, I observed the life cycle and documented it. That means I could see the eggs, I could see the early instar caterpillars, I see the later instar caterpillars, I observed the pupa and the other butterfly. In a span of 1 kilometer, within a span of half an hour, I could document the whole life cycle without collecting the caterpillars or the eggs. That was one of my amazing life cycles, and it is there in the I Found Butterflies, and the images are there. I will show you if I have got time, but you can go and see I Found Butterflies. And these butterflies are amazing species. If you want to see them, you have to go to the higher altitudes of Kerala. And very near to Munnar, just in the foothills of Munnar, there is another wildlife sanctuary called the Chinnar Wildlife Sanctuary. Chinnar Wildlife Sanctuary is known for one of the prettiest butterflies found in Western Ghats, the Nilgiri tit. Can you see this butterfly on my right? This butterfly I wanted to photograph desperately. Before me, my friend Prashant Bhatt went there and observed quite a large number of these Nilgiri tits. But I wanted to personally see that. I went there. I had to go to Munnar. One day I was given by Dr. Kalesh, you stay back at Chinnar and try to photograph it. I was searching for this butterfly from morning 8 o'clock till afternoon 2 o'clock. I could not see it. I gave up. With desperation and with fatigue and with dejection, I was sitting in beside a stream, and suddenly I saw one butterfly which came and sat on my right shoulder. And that was this particular individual, the Nilgiri tit. And I could not photograph it because it was sitting on my camera was in my hands and it was sitting on my right shoulder. Then I prayed to God, give me a chance to photograph it. I soaked my fingers with my sweat and put my finger beside that specimen with that individual sitting on my right shoulder, and merrily it came to my finger, left finger. And I got this image, which I can show you now. This beautiful butterfly, Nilgiri tit, endemic to Western Ghats at lower altitudes and especially in the eastern slope of the Western Ghats. That area, I photographed one of my best images of this common banded peacock, some photographs of spot swordtail, the striped albatross, the African mallow skipper, and the white four-ring. These are the photographs which I got. Apart from that, I got some common species. And you can see at the top, This butterfly looks, this particular, the individual is the grizzle skipper. It's a giant grizzle skipper, which looks like it's a very twin brother of our the giant squirrel of Western Ghats. And this is the same family but two different species. This is paler in color. This is found in Chinnar. So I use this photograph to make it more interesting. I photographed that at Chinnar. Now, there is a place in Karnataka, and there one my friend, Mr. Sammilan Shetty, he actually invested all his savings. He gave away his job for the cause of butterflying, and he established one butterfly park called Sammilan Shetty Butterfly Park. It is very near to Mangalore, in the a place near Mudabidri called Belvai village. He has used his 7 acres of land and a small house and dedicated to conservation of butterflies by hosting a park. I went there not only once, but maybe 15 to 20 times to observe butterflies. And from there, we used to go to a place called Kudlu Tirtha, and it is in the Someshwar National Park and Someshwara National Park. And many butterflies, I have documented over 115 species of butterflies from those areas. Some of them, to be frank, are in front of you. The state butterfly of Karnataka, the southern budwing, the majestic golden yellow and black butterfly, which is having all the colors of Karnataka flag in it and some orange spots also. This was photographed in his park. And my first documentation of Buddha peacock, which is the state butterfly of Kerala, from that area. This butterfly, it's such a fast flyer, it gives you a very little chance to photograph it. But to our actually comfort, it gave us this beautiful image, which I cherish every time I see it. And this photograph was from his park at Belvai. I also got documented at Someshwara Butterfly, that is Someshwara Wildlife Sanctuary, the Malabar tree nymph. I got from his park the blue oak leaf, the southern duffer, the painted sawtooth, and another butterfly called, my first encounter with the Malabar banded swallowtail. These are the butterflies. I'm after of the 110, 115 species I have photographed from that area. Now, I went to another place in Tamil Nadu. It's called Devala, and it is very near to a place called Gudalur. There I went twice through an invitation through Ecoscape, which is an NGO there. And I photographed some very interesting butterflies, including my first encounter with the color sergeant. This is the Nilgiri, that grass yellow. And that area was so amazing that we had got, these are Western Ghat butterflies. And along with that, I saw a dry area butterflies called the large Salvan Arab. That is the junction where I get those Western Ghat endemics as well as some dry area species. And that was very surprising for me to see a tinsel along with very close, within a actually distance of 10 meters, I could photograph a tinsel and this large Salvan Arab. And this is Shiva Sunbeam, which is a beautiful specimen which photograph there. It's a male Shiva Sunbeam. And we have got Hamson Hedgehopper and the Kurg forest hoppers photographed there. The Kurg forest hopper was first time photographed by me at this place, Devala. I could document more than 70 species there from Devala. I had gone there twice. And now I come out of Karnataka, okay? And I went to my first, that is Northeast trip. It is not a Northeast trip. Basically, it is the gateway to Northeast trip. April 2018, I went for the marriage of my nephew at Siliguri and near Merrick. Near Siliguri is a place called Merrick. And I came back to Siliguri and I wanted to observe butterflying. And I took my cousin and one of my friend from Siliguri and went to a place called the Champasari is a forest near Sebok. And it is one of the tributaries of Mahananda. river, and I photographed about 30 species of butterflies, including this spotless oak blue. My first encounter of the small leopard from that northeast, the variant of this small leopard, that's the subspecies. And we have got a small leopard in Western Ghat also, which I have seen many times in Arlam. But for first I photographed this beautiful image from Siliguri, and this yellow heron, which was photographed for the first time by me. And I saw the copper flash for the first time, and the pale clouded yellow, which is a high altitude species, it was photographed at Mirik. And this is the yellow-breasted flash flat, which I photographed. I have never seen it. Is found in Western Ghats also, but I have not yet seen this butterfly in Western Ghats. My first and only documentation is from Siliguri. This beautiful, but if you go to Siliguri, there is a place called Baksa Tiger Reserve. You can go, and in a day you can document about 200 species of butterflies. At least 200 you can see on a season. On a good season, it's pre-monsoon, you can go there and observe butterflies. A beautiful place near Siliguri. But I did not have time to go to Baksa. I went to Champasari. I got 50 to 60 species and photographed about 25 to 30 of them. Now, this is one of my pinnacle journeys to see the butterflies of Western Himalayas. I went to Dehradun in 2018 June, and to be frank, 4th June 2019, I reached Dehradun. I called my friend Rahul Kala, who is an avid photographer and butterfly enthusiast and a bird enthusiast from Dehradun. And we went to a place called Binog Wildlife Sanctuary. It is towards Mussoorie. If you go after Mussoorie, there's a place called Kempty Falls. Everybody knows and goes there. But before Kempty Fall, there's a place. If you go left towards from Kempty Fall, or take off route, we after 3 kilometers we reach the doorway to the famous Mussoorie Wildlife Sanctuary, also called the Binog Wildlife Sanctuary. There, I documented more than 60 species. All were first timers for me. I have never seen those amazing species, and in a span of 2 hours, I could photograph 60 species. Here are some of them. I will narrate 1 or 2 stories. This is called the yellow sailor, and it is also called the Ananta sailor. This is a very, very interesting specimen. And this one I wanted to share. This is the pale green sailor. This species is very rare and found only in the western, the Himalayan region, and maybe eastern Himalayas, I don't know, but it is found from, located from, it was photographed from that area, pale green sailor. And this is the water hair streak, and this is the arrowhead black vane. This is the large silver strip, and this is the Spendacis nipalicus, or silver gray silver line. This is the red orange bordered brown argus, and the state butterfly of Uttarakhand. This is the common peacock. These are the butterflies which we, one of the 60 species, these are a few of the 60 I have selected for this particular presentation, but there are many which I've already uploaded on, that is your I found butterflies. You can see those butterflies there. And I'm sharing this particular image to my left. And when I was going through that particular stream near that Mussoorie Wildlife Sanctuary, I could see on the stream many of these Garhwal great black veins. I know they were just floating on the water. I don't know what make them to float on the water. There were 50, 60, 70 of them. I could see about 5,000 butterflies individual that day. 5,000, can you imagine? Everywhere we can see all those black veins. And this particular bunch of black veins were picked up by me from the stream, and I made them to dry up on a stone. It was, sun was blazing that day, so they could dry up and then flew away. So I could save a few of those butterflies which were floating on the water, and I don't know what make them to float on the water. And still there's a mystery to me. Maybe Krishna may someday clear my doubts about how and why they were floating on water. I have no answer to this question. And that was my journey to Mussoorie and the Binog Wildlife Sanctuary. And last but not the least, I recently went to a place in Honey Valley. I have been visiting Honey Valley about almost every year. And this time I went not for butterflies. This is the latest after pandemic, the post-pandemic 2 years we were almost held up. We did not have time to go, and 2020 we did not have any chance to go out. But this time I went to Honey Valley Resort, and there's a place at the resort called Singara Resort with my friends Rohit and Biju and Basudisha Engar and my daughter Anushri, and we photographed my first encounter with the butterfly, which is called the Malabar flash. I waited for 12 years to photograph this butterfly, and I was lucky to photograph it. But along with that, we got more than 180 species of moths photographed in that area. 180 at night. It's a very, very remarkable that is amount of moths. Wonderful moths. Not only butterflies. My interests are now developing into moths, and we photographed one of the very beautiful moths of Kerala, the Kerala moon moth. To my right, this was my first. Not many people have seen it. This particular beautiful moth. It's a very rare moth of Western Ghats. Huge moth, just like a bird flying. It will be if you see this butterfly flying, you see that it's a bird flying. It's such a big moth, and I was fortunate enough to document this particular moth here. And with this, there are many other stories about butterflies. I've basically been documenting butterflies not only in these places. I went to Arlam, I went to Tenmala, I went to Krishnagiri. There are other places in Kudremukh I went, but these are the few encounters which I wanted to narrate, and some of the stories which I could relate to these journeys. And I will just come to what I wanted to show you. These are my journeys, and how you can the students who are watching this particular session today can contribute. We have Bangalore Butterfly Club in Bangalore, which is working every month, and we are basically documenting butterflies through Bangalore Butterfly Club and contributing to this particular initiative called India Biodiversity Atlas. This particular atlas has got, it's an umbrella butterfly for umbrella website for butterflies of India, moths of India, odonates of India, that means dragonflies of India and themselves, cicadas of India, reptiles of India, amphibians of India, birds of India, and mammals of India. Please visit these websites through this bio atlas, and you can come to one of the first websites created for citizen science in India by Krishnamik Kunte and team. And we have documented in this particular website more than 1,000 species of Indian butterflies. If you see here, it is being updated on a regular basis, and you can see that there are 1,058 species of butterflies. Out of the possible maybe 1,200 plus species of butterflies, we have already documented 1,058 species of butterflies, and early stages of more than, it is about 369 early stages. There are recent updates, of these butterflies, and I'll tell you, in these butterflies, these particular sites, there are two very interesting entries. One is the discovery of a butterfly from India. It's very difficult to discover butterflies, new species, and we have basically discovered from India the banded tit. Banded tit. This is the new butterfly in the recent times. Dr. Krishnamik Kunte and team has discovered this butterfly from India. This is something which you can also do. Be a butterfly enthusiast. Go to forest areas, you may find a new butterfly. It's very difficult to find a new butterfly. This was done by Dr. Krishnamik Kunte in 2015. It is called Hypolysenia narada kunte, the name of the person who had described this butterfly. And recently, one more butterfly was discovered, and that butterfly is also listed here, and it's a recent addition. And I think it is there. What is the butterfly called?
Ashok, I haven't put it up there yet. I need to go to the lab and then do it.
Okay. That butterfly is not yet put up.
No. The page is there. Just search for Zonguensis.
And it is called that
DZ.
Z?
DZ.
DZ.
Type that.
Oh. Okay.
There.
This particular butterfly was recently discovered. It was discovered in 2021. Discovering a new butterfly in the world, especially in Indian subcontinent, is very, very difficult. It takes a huge amount of patience, trained eyes to look for something new. And the team of experts from the NCBS and Dr. Kunte, Tarun Karmakar, and one guy from Bhutan,
Sonam
Wangchuk and
From
Sonam
Sikkim,
Wangchuk,
not
and from
Bhutan.
Sikkim. Okay, sorry, from Sikkim. They have discovered this butterfly, and it has been given a name now. It is new to science, and this sort of things only a person with lots of dedication, lots of passion, lots of interest can find out. And this is happening, and you see the disparity, the gap between this 1058 and 369. Huge gap. Not even 1/3. Almost 1/3 of the species of butterflies photographed from India, and their early stages have been documented. And lot of works to be done. Lot of works to be done. And I am requesting those butterfly enthusiasts sitting and watching this particular webinar, take interest, come forward, join our initiative, join our Facebook group, or our Butterfly of Bangalore group, or any butterfly group that you can, and document and observe butterflies. Within no time, you will learn about butterflies with the available resources, especially social media websites, and this website called Butterflies of India, and inaturalist.org. This is also another site which I'm using currently to document moths and butterflies from my campus. And Facebook group, which we are having, the Butterflies of India. You can join if you are adult. You can join through your parents' accounts, Butterflies of India, and start posting your observations. And from there, you start posting in this website called and how to contribute butterflies. It is also here. We can you can contribute butterflies into this website also. We are coming up with a new website, and this is the older version. A new website is in the making, and it will be more easy for you to basically contribute to this website through an app as well as through the website. Thank you very much, my dear friends. And I will stop at this point of time, and I will take some questions if you have any questions with you. Thank you very much. Priya.
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we
Stop sharing. Let me stop sharing screen.
Okay.
Okay. Pause share. Okay.
So while Priya is finding questions, I'll just say one thing. Ashok,
Yeah.
we are very, very proud of you. You have been a model of what a person can do, taking an amateur interest to a level that you have taken. And you've also been have been an inspiration for a lot of people, not just young people, even older people who have taken this up as a hobby in their spare time. And we are really thankful to you for all the work that you have done, all the education that you have done of school children and others, but also all the education you have done among other citizen scientists. So thank you so much, and I'm very pleased to see.
Thank you, Krishnamay. To be frank, all
the
credit goes to you and my mentors who have given me this opportunity to learn butterflies. It was a very naive effort by me, and it is nothing in front of the work you have done in butterflies, and you'll be doing in years to come. Thank you, Dr. Krishnamay.
Ashok sir, can you stop sharing?
Yeah, I have stopped sharing, I think. No? Did I not share?
No.
Ashok, you have exited full screen, but you're still sharing.
Pause sharing is okay?
No, still.
How can I stop the sharing? Okay. How can I stop the sharing? Okay. It is not.
Stop sharing. I have done that.
Okay. Take it. Done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We have quite a few questions from viewers, both from the Zoom and Facebook. From Zoom, we have first question, uses of butterfly observation from Aruna HN.
Okay, uses of butterfly observation. Very interesting question, and more than me, it will be Dr. Krishnamek will be able to answer this question, but still I will try to answer. Butterflies, butterflies, basically they are the model organisms, okay, for research, and especially the climate change, environment, climate change. Butterflies tend to live in habitats which are conducive and pollution free. If you start documenting butterflies, they're the very at the food chain. They are very low at the bottom of the food chain. Okay, so many species of and plants and animals, they basically depend upon, and even plants, they are very good pollinators also, and depend upon their survival through butterflies. And being an attractive insect, if you start observing and documenting butterflies, you will come to know about what is happening around at a micro level first, and a macro level at the broader side. You will be observing butterflies and documenting them and systematically. It is not that you take a photograph. It's also a good record, but there are ways to photograph and document butterflies. There are methods which will be described better by Dr. Krishnamek Kunte, called 30-minute counts, and how to achieve those things. If seriously it can be done, and if you have butterfly habitats, what will happen? This will basically promote science, and many students through this attractive insect will get attracted towards science and conservation of nature. This is the first thing as an amateur I can understand. This first, our foremost, we are not scientists. We are basically, we can only contribute for conservation of nature. And if you start observing butterflies, through butterflies, you can go towards plants, other insects which depend upon butterflies for their survival, and basically their predators. And we will have a bigger picture, and everything is conserved if you start conserving butterflies. That's the answer. Any more questions? Thank you.
Sir. Yes, sir. Next, we have questions from the children viewers, Tejas and Hiranmai. They are asking, when is the right time to go to Buxa for butterfly watching?
Oh, wonderful. They want to go to Buxa. Buxa, the best time is March end to April mid. That's the best time to go to Buxa. And beyond monsoon, if you go in the month of October and September and October mid, these are, I think, the best time to go to Buxa Tiger Reserve. And please do visit if you are interested. You will enjoy.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
The next question we have from both Purnima and Prasad. Which camera lens do you use, body and lens do you use to document butterflies? Yeah,
the story is, I think, investing on cameras, it's basically a progressive, actually lifestyle. You have money, you get a better camera. You don't have money, you can use a smartphone. But there are having limitations of smartphones. There are macro features in smartphones. I personally use a camera called Canon 80D. It's a mid-range, APS sensor, and I'm using a 100 mm macro lens by Canon, and that is my gear. I started with a different camera. I had a very basic camera DSLR called 1000D, and I had a Tamron 90 mm lens, macro lens dedicated, and I was using that for photographing butterflies. Now, if you seriously wanted to, photograph butterflies, and if you have the money, you can go for a DSLR and maybe mirrorless DSLR and a macro lens, especially for photographing butterflies.
Sir, actually, I got a couple of lenses, 3L series lenses. I got Canon 6D Mark II body, which is not mirrorless.
Okay.
Which is not.
I know it's a full frame.
Full frame. It's a full frame. And this year only I earned a prize. Actually, I earned 2 prizes in photography.
Wonderful.
At the national. Yeah.
When
I was in the US, I earned 3 international grand prizes.
Wonderful.
So I'm basically I have got a couple of lenses. For example, 100 mm macro lens, that L series. I recently purchased another lens, was MPE 65.
Oh, that's a 5x. 5x.
Yeah, 5x. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
You can direct the questions later to Ashok sir, photography related. Priya, next question, please.
Yes. The next question we have, are there any stories of KV school students taking up careers in butterflies or wildlife? The
Wow.
question is from Narendra.
Wonderful. So I will come out with one student. And more than me, Dr. Krishnaming will be able to tell about him, because from me, I have basically delivered that student from KV1 Jalali. He was in 10th class, and I had a group of students, Atul, Adarsha, and Harshini, and they were close to me. We were then Karthik Subramaniam. We are going for butterflies around the campus and around Jalali and Abhigiri. And that small boy, he was very hesitant to come to and close to me and talk to me. Somehow he had the chance to come and meet me, and that boy is now a PhD scholar in National Center for Biological Sciences and pursuing that is what is that called, neurobiology, and his name is G.S. Girish Kumar. Now, more than me, Dr. Krishnaming Kunte knows him, because he was working with Dr. Krishnaming Kunte for maybe 7 years. 5 to 7 years. Now he's with Sanjay Sani's lab and working with neurobiology, and he has contributed a lot towards the butterfly and especially works of Dr. Krishnaming Kunte. He is one of my students, which I'm proud of, and I've never taught him biology. I'm a computer science teacher, but he came to me, he learned from me, and now he has gone beyond me. He is a scientist.
Wonderful.
And, yeah.
Wonderful. Excellent, sir.
Yes. The next question we have from Muskan. Do you feel lucky that butterflies and moths attracted you?
I see God in them. To be frank, if there is God, it is in nature. If I'm not relating to, I don't want to go spiritual, because if I love nature, I am alive. If I don't love nature, my life will be mundane. And to be frank, there is no life without nature. So not only butterflies and moths, I love to observe any life form. I take care of any life form. I don't try to harm them, to be frank. And it may be a spider, it may be a snake. And there are lots of snakes in my school, and I have rescued many of them. I don't say that you go and start rescuing snake, but many snakes come to my school. About 6 to 7 species of snakes are there in our school campus. And if I get a chance to rescue them, I definitely go and rescue them. So every life form is adorable, and we should regard them as equals. Only scientists are allowed to harm and actually do research on them, not us. We are conservationists. We should love them, and we should love them. Even an ant. There are about 40 species of ants in my campus, in the school. Spiders, maybe 25 to 30 species of spiders in the campus. It's amazing habitat. My students, I'm addressing them. You please come and join and our butterfly club and similar initiative, Nature Club, through Ushma Madam, who is, I forgot to tell about Ushma Madam, your teacher, science teacher. She is equally interested, and she has documented more than 50 life cycles in the pandemic year 2020 from the campus. Okay, thank you.
The next question, set of questions we have from Facebook Live.
Yeah.
How to select the place for viewing or photographing a good number of exotic butterflies?
Exotics are not found in India. Exotic is basically a butterfly which is coming from abroad and somebody has bought it. Not exotic plants, exotic birds, exotic, but beautiful butterflies. Okay, if you are staying in Bangalore or anywhere in the country, every place in the country is having butterflies. You go to Rajasthan, you'll see butterflies which are very, very endemic to that place. Recently, one butterfly was rediscovered from Rajasthan. It's called Sin Skipper. Lilac silverline also was documented from. And there is a dedicated group of butterfly watchers in Rajasthan also. That's a dry area. We have got blue spotted Arab. We have got white Arabs, very endemic to those areas, and people are documenting those butterflies. And there are very less number of butterflies still they're working there and observing. You select your area, make a small group of enthusiasts, encourage them, take them on a weekend trip for butterflying, and contact us on how to document them seriously. We don't require exotic gear to photograph them. A point and shoot camera is sufficient to document butterflies. It is documentation, not the photograph. I don't consider myself to be a butterfly photographer. I am a butterfly enthusiast. I am a butterfly citizen scientist, and I love to see butterflies and conserve them.
Yes, sir. We have another question again from a Facebook Live. Are there some tips that you would like to give to a novice photographer?
Photographer. Again, I'm telling you, I'm not a photographer. See, documenting a butterfly, photographing a butterfly, you need to go perpendicular to the butterfly. First of all, if you are seeing a butterfly sitting this way, and you are here, you should be perpendicular. You cannot take a photograph from here or here or here. It will not make a good photographic record. You have to be perpendicular. If it is sitting down, you have to be on the top of the butterfly. And every butterfly has its own working range. You have to study their behavior. In the first instance, you will not be able to photograph any butterfly, but slowly you will learn their behavior, and you will be learning when and where they sit and for how long they sit. And that's the time. In between that time, you can go and photograph it. Don't use a very exotic and a very high costly camera. A point and shoot camera is sufficient to take photographs. Initially, they may not look very cute, but later on, when you basically learn the art of photographing butterflies, you do acquire a better camera and a better lens.
So the next question is again from Facebook. What is the best part of the day and time you're expected to spend for seeing and being able to photograph and observe and photograph butterflies?
Wonderful question. See, a butterfly, I'll tell you, there are various times and various type of species. To be frank, if I go from 9 to 12, 9, maybe 9:30 to 12, that's the time you will see the maximum number of butterflies, maybe 12:30. And beyond that, you will see only a few very specific butterflies which love to be out in the afternoon sun, or maybe the time when the sun is about to set or sun is about to rise. There are crepuscular butterflies which are basically active during dusk and dawn. Very special butterflies are there. You can only observe them if you are present at that locality at that time. All kings, owlets, orange-tailed owls, lancers, and some of the butterflies which love to come only at dusk and dawn. That is the time. But remaining are all the butterflies, they are active during the day when the sun is at its prime, and they come out for nectar. They come out for various activities called courtships, and a lot of things they do. And they what has happened? Somebody has shared something. I think time is. I have to quickly.
No, sir. You can continue to talk, sir.
You continue.
Okay. So you can 9 to 12 is the best time. But I have observed butterflies in a huge number afternoons also, and early mornings only a few of them. Thank you.
So we have one more question from Radhika Nayak. Which butterfly was the most difficult to search for in your journey?
Me. See, it is butterflies are something which you see by chance. Butterflies will come and show their face to you. You are not supposed to search a butterfly. You cannot find a butterfly. You cannot find a butterfly. Butterflies will find you, to be frank. And there are 336 species of butterflies in Western Ghats, and still about 25 species of butterflies I have not seen from Western Ghats. To name them, I will name a few. Maculate lancer, I have seen a caterpillar, not the butterfly. Purple spotted filter fleeter, I have not seen in Western Ghats. I have not seen the spotted royal. I have not seen the branded royal. I have not seen the spotted royal. These are some butterflies which are still very elusive to me, very rare. Why butterflies are rare in Western Ghats? Many butterflies are canopy dwellers. They don't come down. They stay in the higher canopies, higher up. Only for a fraction amount of time, they'll come down for either nectaring or laying an egg, or maybe mud puddling, only for a fraction amount of time. And if you're lucky, you will see them. There is no way that you can see a butterflies will, you can see a butterfly. They can show their first. This is on very, you have to follow this rule. You don't get disappointed. I went to Western Ghats to see butterflies. In one trip, I got only five species. My friends will endorse me, myself, Nagraj and Rohit went to BR Hills, and that time was not very conducive for butterflying. We could not see anything. But We saw the BR Hills. That was very good. And that's how we don't get disappointed. This is a quest of a lifetime. Keep on searching butterflies. You'll find something new if you are lucky. It's your luck. Butterflies can show their face to you. You cannot see the butterflies. Okay, thank you.
We have a question from Nanda Krishnan, similar one, which says, which is the rarest butterfly and have you found it, sir?
Nitin found the rarest butterfly from Bangalore. Nitin found the rarest butterfly and it became so common that almost every butterfly photographer from Bangalore has photographed it. The lilac silverline, which was rediscovered in 2012 by Nitin. This was one of the finds of this particular decade, that 2010 and 2020, we found lilac silverline. And apart from that, for me, every first sighting of a butterfly was rare. First sighting. After that, I have seen. See, I told you that I saw fluffy tit only twice in my 12 years. I saw a butterfly, Malabar flash only once, that too in 2021. There are so many butterflies still pending. And Nilgiri tit was very rare for the first time when I saw it. Then after that, many people have photographed. Every time they go and photograph it. So it is that nothing is rare. You have to go to a particular place and a particular time to see that butterfly. I wanted to see that yellow-breasted fat from Western Ghats. It's found in near Kannur. If I get a chance, I'll go and see that. Then why not? I have to go and find the butterfly branded royal, which recently David Raju has done the life cycle. So still there are butterflies which are elusive and I have not seen them. And this all king, I have only seen once in my 12 years career. That is 12 years expedition to Western Ghats. That is in near Honey Valley, the place called Thadiandamol. To the trek, while trekking Thadiandamol, I saw the all king for the first time.
Yes. I think we're done with the questions so
Yeah,
far,
yeah.
sir. Thank you, sir, so much for your inspiring and wonderful talk. And thank you for sharing, relating and sharing all your fascinating experiences and your journey, right from having, hardly knowing anything about butterflies to becoming one who's teaching others and documenting these lovely creatures. I'm sure many of the viewers have been inspired by your story and they're waiting to find out more about butterflies themselves. And I'm sure they're also waiting to visit the websites that you mentioned, including the Butterflies of India website, and also to contribute and contribute their documentation to it. And I'm sure they're also waiting to, become more aware of their presence all around us now. So thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful talk. I'm sure all of us have benefited a lot from from your experiences.
Thank you, Priya. Thank you, BBC and Karnataka Forest Department for giving me this chance to speak on butterflies. I have been speaking about taxonomy and ecology of butterflies. First time I narrated some stories. Thank you very much. And especially Dr. Kunte, who is present.
Sir, I have one doubt, sir.
Sir,
I have one doubt.
Yeah.
Sir, some experts say butterflies are very sensitive to the climate. How we can study the climate change by studying the butterfly?
That is what is basically we should do. You are answering your own question. Start documenting butterflies. When you start documenting butterflies, and Dr. Krishnamurthy Kunte will tell you how to document the 30-minute counts. He has got expertise, and that's a scientific way of documenting butterflies. Okay. And if you start documenting from tomorrow, maybe after 2 years of documenting butterflies and relating the data which you have collected and give the data to your some NCBS or some teams who are actually researching about butterflies, they'll give you some analysis of that particular data. And by that time, you will also learn how to analyze the data. Okay. We have to amalgamate the data and relate the data with the meteorological informations and come out climatic information and come out with various indicators of climate change.
Thank you, sir. And before we close, I'd like to remind our viewers that we have 3 more talks in the next 3 days. You can see them on the screen too. Do join us and share the details with your friends too, and invite all of them. Thank you all for being here and making your time to be here. And thank you, sir, once again for your wonderful talk.
Thank you, Priya. Thank you all. Have a nice day.